Thinking Aloud. Conversations on the leading edge of knowledge and discovery with psychologist Jeffrey Mishlove.
In a world of 7 billion people, to think that maybe 2,500, 3,000 young children have past life memories, that's a tiny, tiny percentage of the overall population.
It is, and there are probably many, many more than that who have these memories. It's just that most of these memories are not strong enough to lead to a verification of the previous person. But the memories themselves, from all we can tell now, seem to be quite common, and from all over the world. So it does seem to be a human ability, characteristic, whatever it is.
In other words,
you want to interpret it.
We now have solved cases from cultures where reincarnation is not a common belief.
Yes, and ones with written records too. Now, the methodology, and there have been statistical studies using both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. The inferential ones are ones where you're looking at variables and trying to see the relationship between them.
For you as an anthropologist, and I gather that a number of other researchers have a background in anthropology, you're very interested in the interplay of the culture and the ways in which the reincarnation manifests.
Yes, and this is also, I hope we can talk about that also later, get into it in more detail, because it is a very important subject. There are all sorts of cultural influences on the cases, both from the outside, that is in terms of how the cases are actually expressed, how they develop, or not, and but from also, interestingly, from the inside. That is, culture can show up in the way that the cases actually are expressed, that is, the memories are expressed. And this sort of makes sense if you think about it, because the previous persons were members of some culture or other. And if survival does occur, reincarnation does occur, it would be entirely natural for personality, for beliefs, for psychological structures to carry over into the period after death, and then into the reincarnation and be recalled. So it makes sense that we would see these sorts of cultural influences on the memories from the inside as well as from the outside.
Now, if we're talking about research on survival, there are many different lines of inquiry. You can look at near-death experience, mediumistic communications, apparitions, but with reincarnation research, you don't have such a variety. For example, you don't find much in the near-death experience literature that is enlightening with regard to reincarnation.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit there,
Okay.
Jeff. There are about 20% of cases that were studied, solved and unsolved. About 20% of them, the children recall the period between death and rebirth. We call those intermission memories, period. The phenomena of the intermission turned out to be very similar to phenomena of NDEs.
Okay, so that's something.
Yeah, so we do see overlap there.
Okay.
We also, in some reincarnation cases, see apparitions. There can also be mediumistic communications that refer to reincarnation. Sometimes communicators through a medium talk about their upcoming reincarnations and so forth.
All right.
So all of these areas do come together and they do dovetail.
So there is more of a convergence.
There is very much a convergence.
Okay.
And I actually think it's a very important point, because some people do think of reincarnation as being a separate sort of area, and it is a specialty within parapsychology, but all the different survival areas really do converge and they support each other.
Okay.